I said, my boy Sam, he really knows. Like Sam is like he is Batman, I'm his Robin right now. Like that dude really gives me a significant advantage in communicating with not only our community, but of course with these extended partners. And it's just been really fun. The show, like, I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. The show is like massively getting huge buzz within a lot of the sub communities that we are, very close with. A lot of gaming communities, a lot of NFT communities. And what we really want to do is that our goal is, right, is to keep bringing on these types of conversations, but also giving you a ability to participate as well. And that's also the other interesting thing about Rumble is that one of the next tests that you'll see, it'll probably happen later this month, but we're actually going to bring a Rumble episode into our Discord. So it'll be right here. We'll have all the speakers. And then the cool thing is that we're going to build mini games and mini votes all within Discord as well. So there'll be an element where you guys get to kind of be participating in that live opportunity. There's ways that you could give feedbacks. And then also you guys can choose winners, right? You can choose who won that debate or who had the best take, right? And I think that's also like going to be a really fun way of building this content to even be more exciting. Right now, we've kind of, I think, have really perfected like what does a strong 1 hour really look like, right? And what we felt is that, hey, we could do like 20 people on a panel, but it just doesn't really lead to the depth of conversation. So we really started to identify that numbers like 3 or 4 people really total in speaking. And I think that's been a really nice like revelation for us, for the pace and the type of quality we want. I think the other nice thing is, really shout out to Knock. Even though he keeps taking the position that he thinks I would think
Extreme.
is weaker. I don't know why he does that. I love Knock. I'm gonna tell him like choose your favorite position. Just choose the thing that you could defend the best. That's all that matters. But that's why I love Knock, man. He is willing to take any position as well. That's very rare. Like I'm born for that shit, right? Like I can play devil's advocate in my sleep. That's just fun because I always try to look at the angle of any conversation from from every perspective, right? That's the biggest thing. So it's always fun, because my real take on a lot of these things are quite different. But that's the goal, right? Is that we want to give you a holistic understanding of what's happening. And I'm not here to double down only on my opinions. My goal is also to like share another perspective where I could also take insights away. And I think that's actually what makes Rumble amazing. Rumble gets so powerful because effectively it's the ability for me to learn as well. So it's fun to see these different takes. Like it's fun to hear from Paul Bettner, right? I mean, this guy is a legit CEO and he's fucking spent, like guys, you know how insane you have to be working on the same game for 6 years and also be in Web3? Like it's some insane numbers, right? And this guy worked on top VR projects, top mobile gaming projects. Like this guy has all that experience, and being able to hear how he is building, I might not agree with everything or the order he's doing it, but I do value the logic of his position, right? And I want to understand that because that can help me build better, right? This could help me understand something I might not have seen. This might be able to help me identify a problem in my own approach. So I hope that you guys could also use that as well and be able to take that away from your takes. Outside of that, the next big thing here is that, Rumble is going to start growing to bring in other audiences. So the other alpha I could give you, well, I hate the word alpha. It's not alpha, right? This is not trading alpha. That's not what it is. It is how it's builder insights. That's really what I should call it. Better insights really is the concept of understanding Rumble was designed to actually be a show that could go anywhere. So if you've been following Rumble, we hosted it on my account, we hosted on Sam's account, we hosted it on Tribe's account. This last one was actually on Sam's account. And we're just trying to see like what does it look like for us to almost take the show on the road where it could actually be hosted by different communities, different partners, and different opportunities. And that's kind of why I'm really excited is that there's so many partners and parties who want to be a part of Rumble already. So we're going to find some interesting ways for Rumble to also level up, generate value for this ecosystem more than just content as well. Content's the first thing. It's then understanding how do we either expand that reach of content to get us either more access or expand the value of that content to generate revenue for the business in a healthy way. And we've already started to have like really deep conversations inbound on like sponsorships, right, for Rumble. It's like one of the things that has been really exciting to see. Is this something we actually try out for the first time? Tribe's traditionally never taken a sponsorship approach. Almost all of our content, like if you actually think about it, this is the most insane stat. I was explaining this to a partner yesterday. Um, so like we passed like 15 million minutes listened across our community, which is a crazy number. But you know what's even crazier is that we did 15 million minutes and we never monetized it, right? We've never sold a single time slot ever, right? The closest thing we've ever received was whitelist allocations for something as minting episodes. But we ran that many hours of content, right? I think like the total number is like close to 500 hours to 600 hours of content. It's actually more than that. I'm almost sure of it. But what we could see in our records, it's like, I think the last number is like 630 hours of content, which is a fucking mind boggling number. And then when you think about those 630 hours, you realize it's led to 15 million minutes listened. And then alongside that, we haven't ever charged in any way for the monetization of it. So we're going to start opening up those channels to see what it could lead to. But it's not just about like how does Tribe take revenue, and that's not the only goal. It's how does Tribe build, right, a relationship where there's value being aggregated on the content we're creating that helps the overall entity, whether it be whitelist allocations, giveaways, sponsorship capital. There could be a lot of other things here as well. So this is kind of why like I'm really bullish on where this is going because we think we could find a nice way to balance it. And then here's the other crazy thing. I think Sam and I have talked about at least three other different types of show structures that are somewhat similar, right? Not saying that they'd always be similar in regard to the format, but what we say is similar in terms of like an hour of like really meaty content around different topics. And we're even thinking about stuff like what would a sports one be as well? What would a only DeFi one look like? What would a only gaming one look like if we wanted to? Because we could be vertical specific with it. And that's the other nice thing about a lot of the panelists, especially myself, Knock, and Sam, we could probably represent almost every category out there. And that's where I think it gets really powerful, right? Is that when we could start representing all the different categories out there, we can then start increasing reach. And the reason you should all understand this is that why are we doing this? Is that it's trying to ensure that we can absolutely scale our organization at any moment. If you actually want to see a crazy 0 to 1 launch, Rumble's a really good example of that. Rumble, in literally 4 weeks now, it's been exactly 4.5 weeks, right? Has become the number one show in this time slot. Today, we were the number one show amongst NFT projects by a pretty wide margin in terms of concurrent peak concurrent users, which is always a bullish thing. Now the question is when we start adding marketing to it because we haven't really marketed it. All you get is like usually one tweet from Sam. We retweet it and that's it. And it's really only shared here within our Discord. We have a whole nother opportunity to now start building awareness about this with the host, the partners, and everything. And that's the goal now of Rumble. Go become the biggest show in this game, right? Become the most interesting thing to listen to. And not only live, but also making those fast recordings that could potentially go on Spotify as well. And that's the other vertical that we're now going after is we've really never built Spotify content really directly, like intentionally, right? Podcast content. Everything here has been very impromptu like rather than actually structured for real growth and real scale. So this is kind of why I'm really, really excited, because it's a new opportunity for not only revenue growth, but user growth. And if we could tie those in together, right, there's going to be some really healthy outcomes that we're still creating in a bear. So that's how we see these pieces coming in together. This is why Tribe continues to be like working in the trenches to find all of our partnerships and continue to bring on other relationships as well. So, real quick, I just want to give you guys a couple of updates of what's coming up next. We have, ooh, okay, yep. Looking at this right now. So we just added a few of these on. We're gonna join a mega gaming space with Shadow War. Shout out to Mirror, who's been organizing this. As well on Thursday. These are back-to-back events, so I get to wake up very early. We have this kind of mega gaming space. We're going to learn a little bit about Shadow War and a bunch of other gaming communities. And then right after that, Something is Minting is back with Michelin. This is interesting because, Michelin, is a pretty well-known brand, both for its tires, but of course for its, like, rating magazine of top restaurants and top venues. They're doing a paid mint in this market. Very interesting to see whether or not they have the pieces and the market making to be able to succeed. We're going to learn that very directly. And of course, we have allocation for our community. And then again, another project that a lot of people are excited about as well. We got also structured for another event, which is Wallet Wars. These guys are backed by Animoca. Wallet Wars will be happening next week. This is on October 9th. We also got a very large allocation here as well. For diamonds, I think you're guaranteed on both Wallet Wars and Michelin. I'm not sure exactly on Shadow War here at the moment right now. Mirror will have more of that information as well. So we got a nice little like action-packed amount of content coming in here too. And then also after this week, you're gonna start seeing the port key and the soul marketing go out. That's also like the other thing that we're going to be doing. We're not really trying to market it to be like, hey, all of you outside of Tribe should be minting. That's not the goal. The goal really is showcasing how we're building differently so people can follow along. If you own a soul, the best thing you can do is just go claim your port key, right? Especially if you own multiple souls, definitely go grab one of the rarer port keys that you're going to be able to claim. That's all you need to do. It'll be an open claim, it'll be an open window. But this port key is going to be what we think is one of the most important steps for Web3 growth to get to another bull. And the real reason for that is that we believe it's on-chain reputation, which can really lead to, an ability for us to have the greatest user onboarding opportunity in Web3. And we really want to build all of that back up and bring that to you guys. So, yep, you'll get Village Market will open back up here with these allocations that are now coming through. We really wanted to stack this here as well. The port key claim will be in the second half of this month, so in probably a couple weeks. We're right now finalizing the exact date and going through a few tests here as well, getting the art kind of fully done. Where honestly, to be very transparent, I am like 5 days behind on my calendar for everything because of kind of having a slow last week. So I'm literally playing catch up. Oh my god, if you see my DMs right now, it looks garbage. I have so many people I owe messages to, and I'm just trying to knock through them as fast as I can. So we could get all of that stuff right. Should be pretty exciting. So you're gonna see a few of these pieces kind of come together. And then the big thing as well, right, which we're going to talk about in about 14 minutes right here on stage, right? We're going to have a opportunity to talk to the next village partner who I think is bringing up a really interesting way of a new mint strategy. This is actually what I was talking about on Rumble. I believe the biggest mistake this entire Wave 1 market did was that they gave the speculative asset first. You created no real relationship or healthy partnerships with potential holders that you curated from the start. because of that, right, what we really wanted to do is we wanted to figure out another way of distributing value, building that reputation and relationship, and then giving out the speculative asset later. And that's always been Tribe's vision, and I think Tribe's doing it incredibly well. What's really exciting is that I actually think TWL has a better and faster paced approach in doing that, which I think is even more exciting. So you're going to hear about how they're doing these kind of multiple mint experiences that are incredibly cheap, right? But could be incredibly valuable for you guys to consider to just be a part of how this brand is evolving. They're going to share a little bit more, but again, the mint is incredibly cheap. It's a $1 mint and gas. It's open for 24 hours, so you don't have to make any massive, gas wars or anything like that. You don't have to worry about that. But what it is that it's going to be a part of a multi-pronged experience that leads to kind of social experiences, gaming experiences, and a few other surprises that will coalesce into a Genesis Mint, which I think is also really fascinating, right? In this market, if you could find a way to build hype into your Genesis Mint with kind of other interesting on chain experiences, I think it's one of the smartest things you could do in a bear market because this bear market's bored, right? It really is incredibly bored. So when it's this bored, right, our whole goal and opportunity now, right, is to work with these partners and really make sure that they're putting out something that feels fresh, that feels different, right? That feels unique. And I think that's the real important thing here. I don't think you need to be max minting anything. It's up to you. We'll hear a lot more from Patrick in about 10 minutes anyway, and he'll share that here with us as well. So hopefully, you'll see just like, this quarter can still be exciting. There's still going to be opportunities. The port key is going to be your biggest advantage in a world where on-chain reputation matters. If you believe in that concept of on-chain reputation, right? Like Tribe is the best place to be. That's what Tribe's been curating this whole entire time, right? That's absolutely all we care about. And what we want to really make sure is that we want to continue to maintain those principles, but unlock more value for you, right? So the same way that we value you guys right now internally through our Discord, we want to allow other channels and partners to do externally outside of our Discord, right? If we could get you guys more valued as high quality users based off the reputation you've built with us, it means that we're all going to win. This is actually one of the biggest leaps in that manner. And it's really going to allow for us to build a lot of these targetings here, right? For you guys to be a part of that project experience too. And this is like a real business concept. Like it's something that might be hard to see and understand why it's valuable here. But if you understand how big the Web 2 advertising industry is, this is an interesting challenge to that. And again, it's a very early challenge. We're still very small and thinking about the waves, but our advantages are very large because we're in the trenches to go after native consumers. Our goal isn't to get port keys into everyone's hands. That's actually not the goal. I actually think a lot of people get that wrong. It's like, hey, to onboard more users, you need to distribute this to more users. I'm like, no, man, in order to onboard more users, we got to get build better fucking experiences that are worthy of their time, right? So what do I really want to do? I want to make sure that at least in the first era, we build on-chain reputation for Web3 natives. That's where we're starting. If we get that system right, we have an opportunity of expanding that to Web2 users as well. And that's going to be a huge part of our strategy too, which I think is going to be really exciting. All right, guys, with this, let's do our favorite thing. Let's head to the secret chamber real quick. And let me get this set up for you guys. And the role here is Rumble number 5. Alrighty, guys. You got to head to the secret chamber room. It's under the engage and earn category. In that, you're going to be able to use the /secret command in order to open this up, and then you'll be able to enter in the code. Today's code is 9766. Today's password is 9766.